I want all of you to know that I'm not running for the United States Senate. But I also want you to know that if I did, I'd kick their ass. Because that's what it's about. And, well, I'm trying to be the president of the Manitoba Fishing Club, so that sounds pretty good. Look, this has been a tremendous year for our family. We have moved to New York. Actually, I really don't know where we're residents of. We live in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota when we can. And our studio is still in Fargo. And we spend most of our time in New York, and I work at 30 Rock, so I'm kind of confused as far as locations go. So if somebody asks you if I'm a resident of Minnesota, say, yeah, he's a resident, why not? I want to give you a little insight on health care if I can tonight, because this, when I went to MSNBC in, well, actually April 7th is going to be my first anniversary at MSNBC, and I understand, thank you. And I understand that Michele Bachmann has got Sarah Palin coming in on April 7th. So if all of you here will make a commitment to me tonight, that if I bring my TV show right across the street from where they're doing their rally, you'll all show up. Got a deal? Okay, we'll do it. You know, our lives have changed so much. We wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I have to be at 30 Rock by 8 o'clock in the morning for a TV, what the heck we're going to talk about today. And back in April when I got there and they said, well, what do you, the first week, they kept digging into my content, said, what do you want to talk about? I said, health care. Well, we don't want to talk about health care. And they said, you know, we're cable TV and it's just like talk radio. It's all about conflict. And so there's no conflict in health care. So within the first 24 hours I was at MSNBC, I had to tell them that they were wrong. So I don't know how long this is going to last. I knew after doing town hall meetings, and I'd done a number with Janet here in Minneapolis, and Wendy and I had traveled all over the country, not to sound grandiose, but I knew where the American people were on health care. I knew you wanted somebody to get up and fight for it. And I took it as a signature issue because it was the right thing to do. And you know, look, this media thing, you know, I mean, we could be gone tomorrow. You know, we're all about as fragile as a snowflake. So you have to utilize every second you possibly can on the radio and utilize every second you can in front of the camera and just stick it to them. And don't back down. And I probably wouldn't make a very good candidate because I'd get after Mayor. I don't believe in bipartisanship. I don't. After the way they ran the country into the ground for the last 8 years, what the hell you want me to work with them on? Okay? I mean, now, this is, I know it's being recorded, but I wasn't told it was off the record, but Mr. Gibbs and I had quite a conversation off the air the other night. And I'm going to tell you, I told him he was full of shit, is what I told him. I mean, I did. And then he gave me the Dick Cheney F-bomb the same way Senator Leahy got it on the Senate floor. So I told Robert Gibbs, I said, I'm sorry you're swearing at me, but, you know, I'm just trying to help you out. I'm telling you, you're losing your base Do you understand that you're losing your base? And that the American people, they don't want public option. The American people want single payer. And there's no doubt what Tom was talking about the Supreme Court is vitally huge. Now we've got another big piece of raw meat on the platter that we got to grill up and fix up and take care of. I get all that. It's very important. But I'll tell you what is more important. We have to get these people who have infiltrated the Democratic Progressive movement and get them the hell out. That's what we need to do. They're not even Democratic light. Look at the people of Connecticut right now. You couldn't elect Joe Lieberman dog catcher right now. But he goes there and he does totally opposite of what his constituents want him to do. Max Baucus. The backstory on that is Max Baucus stabbed Tom Daschle in the back. They've been at each other's throats for the last 25 years. And when Daschle was going to be picked to be vice president, some people in the Democratic Party went after him. And then Tom Daschle was going to be chief of staff. And then he was going to be Secretary of State. He said, well, I don't want to do that. I'd rather go the health care route because, Barack, I know that's what you want to do. So we've had all this backbiting and fighting within the Senate group, and now we've got a health care bill that has passed 5 committees, the House and the Senate. Think about that. We've gone through 5 committees in the Congress. One's passed the House, one's passed the Senate, and we can't get it to the president's desk. Why? Because Jim DeMint said back on July 9th, he used an old Southern plantation term. He said, we can break him. What the hell are we doing? Are we training horses here? They're never going to give Barack Obama a victory. Never. They're never going to help the first African-American president be a success. And they sure as hell aren't going to give him health care, the most revolutionary piece of legislation for the American people that would change the economy. Let me tell you, my friends, we are still in an ideological fight for the country. And make no mistake, look, Massachusetts, call it a wake-up call, call it a warning, call whatever it is. The main thing is, it didn't happen in November. Okay, so now we've got the attention. And now it's a call to arms for all of us as progressives. Now we have to make sure that President Obama gets the message. We're with you, but you got to be with us. We're with you, but you got to be with us. The number one thing we can do in this country is pass strong health care legislation. We're in a position right now, we're going to have to take what's on the table, and then we're going to have to put pressure on the progressive senators to push for more reform as time goes on. We can't let President Obama be labeled as a failure when it comes to health care. We can't do that. So, as much as we're all upset about single payer and the talk about health care and public option and the big deal, we're in a tough spot right now. Okay? There will be more. If it passes, if we can get it done, there'll be more. Now, we never had single payer at the table, right? Because of Max Baucus. We had this guy from Nebraska who decided he wanted to be a media star. I had a shouting match with Ben Nelson back in July. I said, you're on the wrong side of the issue. Your own people in Nebraska want this to go through, and you're fighting your own people. Ever heard of Mutual of Omaha? Yeah. Yeah. That's how it is. You know where Joe Lieberman's wife works? Yeah. It's money. It's dirty. It's wrong. It's not us. It's not the American people. But I don't want us as Americans to give up. I don't want us to say, well, gosh, we got 4 Senate seats and 2006, and we, got the House and the Senate. Look, mistakes were made. But tomorrow's another day, and November's another election. We need to get rid of Michele Bachmann. Any congressional member who thinks that members of Congress should be investigated for their anti-American views doesn't understand what voting is all about. And I stand before you tonight very proud to be number 4 on the GOP most wanted list. You know I want to be number 1, don't you? I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. That's right. The best quarterback in the NFL is number 4. That's good. So I believe it's my calling, it's my mission where I am to tell it like it is and do it for the people. And if at times, if I've come off a little tough on President Obama, I'm only trying to do the movement a favor. Because if we don't speak up, who's going to speak up? And if we don't tell the White House that they're wrong on stuff right now, and if we don't have a course correction, who's going to do it? The righties aren't going to do it. Their whole deal is about failure. Their whole deal on the GOP is about seeing Obama be a one-termer. Well, I think there's going to be some changes coming. If I was a gambling man, this is just your old fat red-headed friend talking, I would say that Larry Summers' days are numbered. I know I'm not in Las Vegas, I'm in Minneapolis, but I would bet that his days are numbered. I would bet that there might be somebody else come in to talk to the president about what's going on. Now, that would be me. Next week is the State of the Union. Mr. Axelrod has asked for Keith Olbermann and Rachel and myself and Katrina Vanden Heuvel and also this Adam Green to the Progressive Change Caucus. So I've never been to a pen and pad session at the White House. And I want all of you to know that I'm not a child left behind. I don't need a pen and pad. Okay? I'm going to tell the president, you need to get out there with the folks, and you need to push hard for an absolute, unequivocal mechanism to give the private sector direct competition so we can change this healthcare industry. And if they don't want to do it, I think the president is strong enough and popular enough, he can go out there and talk to the folks and say, hey, the Republicans, not one of them wanted to help. The Republicans believe that it's okay to have pre-existing conditions. I talk about our situation. We're a small business owner. We have a small construction company up in North Dakota. Our boys run it. We have a small broadcast company. In total, we got about 15 employees. So we got our health care bill. You know what? They're not pausing. They're not pausing over in the insurance industry. We've gone from $750 a month for me and Wendy to $936.80. Now it's going to $1104. Now, maybe they're just picking on me. No. I had one physical last year. I mean, I'm taking care of myself. What the hell are they raising rates on me for? Why? Because they can. Why? Because I'm a year older. Why? Because you and I are nothing but a number. We're not an American. We're a number. I want to be an American. I don't want any exclusion. The great thing about public education in America, which the conservatives have attacked time and time again, The great thing about public education is when the door is open, everybody's welcome. Equal opportunity. But you know what the conservatives want to do? They want to not only vilify the process of public education and not fund it, they want to go after the teachers and say, no, we can't have unions, we can't have representation. This is an attack on labor. This is an attack to depress wages. And this Supreme Court ruling all falls in line, and I know it's going to pain you to hear this audio right now, but from the conservative perspective, the Bush years were successful. They got 2 Supreme Court justices, and they got tax cuts, and they got exactly the war they wanted. So they're happy. They fulfilled the neocon agenda. Who's paying the price? The working folk of America, the middle class folks that don't have a voice anymore. We have to dig in, and we got to get after it. And we can't give up. I'm not giving up. I don't want you to give up. Progressive Talk is not going to give up. We need more heroes like Janet Robert, who's brave enough. We need you wonderful sponsors to keep doing what you're doing. We need you wonderful listeners to stay loyal to all of our shows. And if we say something you don't like, hey, at least we're saying it. Okay? I could go for another 2 hours. Before I leave you, there's a lady in this room. She's the backbone of our family. My wife, Wendy, is the best. And we've got 6 kids and 8 grandkids. And believe me, when they come to the lake, they eat everything. God bless you. We love Minnesota. We love 950. Thank you so much. Let's go. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Thank you so much.